Senior night at the Ehas Arena, Part 1. Part 2 coming up on Saturday night when the men host Colorado State. But tonight, it's the San Diego State women against Wyoming, and we're joined right now by the head coach of the Aztecs, Beth Burns, with us on Extra Sports 1360. Coach, first of all, I know Chris he goes to every game, but I've been following along, and looks like your team's been playing some better basketball.
I'm there at every game. I don't know that I really am there at every game, but she may differ with you on that. Hey, Coach.
Happy March Madness, gentlemen. How are you?
It's March. I love that.
Yeah, that's right, man.
It is one of the greatest sports months of the year.
You know what? That's what sets Coach apart, man. She was already ready for that calendar to turn to March, and of course her team has played well in March the last couple of years, and we all know that this has been an exciting season for the men's basketball team, and we'll see where it ends up going, but. Coach, they still got a little work to do to catch up with what you guys accomplished last year, which was getting San Diego State's women's team to the Sweet 16. But let's talk a little bit about what you have tonight, because it is special. It's senior night, and I think, Jessica Bradley, Coco Davis, two players from Sacramento who've been with you, Coco Davis for 4 years. And you don't want to there's no extra spotlight, but Paris Johnson has been a very important player for your program coming out of San Diego High School, and the fact that tonight she plays her final home game, it's very significant.
Well, it's almost unbelievable. I said this to a note I sent out to our boosters to remind them about the game that, my grandmother was right. It does go faster every year, and I hope I'm not approaching grandmother age or anything like that, but isn't it remarkable, Chris, to think that Paris is now a graduating senior. I've known her since she's been 14 years old, hanging around with her big sister Desiree in the gym, and now here it is, her special night. It does go really, really quickly.
Go back. How difficult was it to convince Paris Johnson to come to a program where you were trying to reestablish a women's basketball team? This was long before the Sweet 16 or the NCAA tournament success of the past two seasons. She had a lot of different places that would have wanted her to attend. How difficult was it to convince her to come to San Diego State?
Well, I think recruiting is difficult every year. Everything's relative. The better you do, the better living rooms you're in, the better competition you have. Paris was unique in that, she's the youngest of her immediate family, and we had not only had an opportunity to coach her sister Desiree, which is probably the biggest key because her family and her sister felt that San Diego State was a great place and had a great future. So I think without that component, it would have been difficult for us having the same playing field as everybody else that tried to get in to see her. You have to realize how highly recruited she was. I used to tell her she had like these secret ninja telephones because she could use one for about 3 days and then have to get rid of it because so many people, in those days you used to be able to text people, and she'd be getting 300, 400, 500 texts a day from people. So once you were in, if you had the secret number that really got to Paris, you know that you were in the core group of people that had an opportunity. But, Paris is very real. Some kids get really caught up in the hype. Paris knows what she wants to do, what she wanted to accomplish, had a real trust for ourselves as people, as coaches, and that was enough for her. She believed and she felt she'd rather hang a banner than go and hang the 15th banner. And credit to Paris, she sure did.
Yeah, no question. The career of Paris Johnson, not yet over, certainly. Senior, playing her final home game tonight for the San Diego State women. But just a couple of quick numbers so that people understand just what an impact Paris Johnson has had at San Diego State. Third leading scorer all-time in the history of the school. One block shot away from being the all-time block shot leader in Mountain West Conference history. 123 consecutive starts. Coach, you never had one game with Paris Johnson on your roster that you did not put her into the starting lineup. So she answered the bell for you every single time. And, of course, as some of the fans know, a victory in the NCAA tournament a couple of years ago, and then the unprecedented run to the Sweet 16 last year. Paris Johnson, not the sole reason for those, but she was certainly a big part of it as a starting center. So great career. And we don't want to leave out Jessica Bradley and Coco Davis, who have been two key performers for you as well. Coco Davis, the younger sister of Quinice Davis, who was your point guard, who led you to the Sweet 16 a year ago. So You've got 3 players that it's going to be hard for you to say goodbye to tonight. I know that.
It will be, and I think for us, the world is funny in the sports world. I mean, look at, we don't have to get into all the other issues out there, but boy, one day can really change the climate and the landscape and what's going on with your team. We got off to a tough start. We got off to an 0-3 start, and I think we had to hire more ambulances around the county because people were falling off the bandwagon so fast they were breaking things, and it was just like, hey, they're awful. And so we just quietly toiled in obscurity, and since that point we have a winning record. We're 4-2, round 2 in Mountain West. We like to think we've competed with every team that we've played against, have an opportunity tonight to beat, sitting in number 3 at this point, Wyoming, to go into March with a little momentum. And, Beth was about, on a certain day, playing well for 40 minutes to get the opportunity to play the next day. And that's where Paris and JB and Coco and Kalina Tutt, we've been down this road before. And if they can help rally the younger people that are key to our success, that they have to be able to buy into this too, we think we could make a little bit of noise. We sure hope so, beginning with tonight against Wyoming. And I appreciate, just for the two of you, the opportunity to get more people, if they can, come a little bit early. We're going to have the senior ceremony about 6:50 tonight before the game gets underway.
Yeah, and Coach, just to get all those fans who are walking around in casts because they fell off the bandwagon so early, an update. That you've got the conference tournament coming up next week. BYU, I believe, one loss. They've been on top of the conference standings.
Yeah.
Tough loss over the weekend, but in Provo, you guys had a double-digit lead, in the second half against that team. That tells me you've got to at least like your chances to compete at that Mountain West Conference tournament next week. And as everyone knows, just like the men, the winner of the tournament gets an automatic berth to the NCAA tournament. That's got to be what you're looking at right now.
We've got a lot on the line in that, if we can have a good week going into that, there still would be potentially, with a couple good wins, an opportunity for an NIT bid. Postseason is postseason, especially with the younger group. We want to keep this thing going on as long as we can. And we do feel, the craziness of the women's ticket this year is unbelievable. I mean, on Monday, our team was like, for 10 minutes, we worked on just about every offense and defense known to man because we could play any of 9 teams. I mean, I have no idea who we're going to play and what we're going to have to face. So,
just think how tough it is on the broadcaster who has to study all 9 teams, Coach. Come on.
I was about to say we might have been able to pull that BYU win off, but, the guy doing the play-by-play next to me was so distracting. I didn't do a good enough job.
I see, yeah.
Finished in that. But, the thing about this current women's team is that we've had to learn by doing. Different people learn different ways. Some people have to get smacked in the head to get it. That's just the way life works. Some people can't, the best lessons and the hardest lessons are the ones you get from experience. And the positive for us as a staff is for everything we did wrong, which put us on the short end of games, now we've turned around and really potentially could be 6-2 round 2, where if we'd have done that round 1, nobody would have, had the same kind of things coming out with it. So we're playing the best we can possibly play at the best time to do so. So we're encouraged and looking forward to it.
Coach Beth Burns, it's senior night. Paris Johnson, Jessica Bradley, Coco Davis, 7 o'clock is the game time. The Aztecs taking on Wyoming tonight at Viejas Arena. It would be very nice, and I know there'll be a good crowd out there anyway. But if you might be thinking of going and seeing this team play, to go out and honor these kids who play their final game. We couldn't let you go, Coach, real quick without a comment on Steve Fisher's team. We know how close you and Coach Fisher are. I know you didn't get to watch the BYU game because you and I were together and you were in the locker room trying to get your team ready to play. But the way they bounced back last night, at least back me up, Coach, because, see, I'm getting all kinds of flack today from email and from phone and from everybody because I was very worried about winning last night in Laramie. I tried to explain to everybody how hard it is to win in Laramie, and now everybody's telling me, Chris, man, you're just a worrywart because we knew they'd kill Wyoming. So you can either back me up or not, but at least you know where I was coming from.
No, I'll back you up because on top of that, Ben is starting to look really intelligent here. So I have to clear up a couple points on what happened in the Wyoming situation. Because Ben pointed out that, as you know from our teams and teams past, how many times did you see us get pressed? We didn't get pressed because of the kind of guard play that we had and the kind of team that we had. But Ben, understand this, fatigue makes cowards of us all. And I watched every minute of our men's game, as I always do. If I'm playing, I TiVo it and I come home and watch it. But the first few minutes of the game, you kind of had where we came down, we had a quick shot, they spurted out a little bit. The best way I can equate it is if you put a plastic bag over your head, secure it with a rubber band, poke 3 holes in it, and then go for a run. That's what it feels like when you first start. And because of how well coached they are and the experience level of our team, you still have to get up and down, get winded, feel it, and then mentally get past it. And I think to me, that's the way the game played out. Now, Coach Fisher did totally shoot our theory, though, Chris. I don't think I've ever had a 40-point win or whatever the heck the final score was last night. But that's just a tribute to their resiliency to bounce from a really difficult, gut-wrenching defeat and then take the, 18 hours of travel it takes to go back and forth to there. That just shows you, as Tech fans, you have a great special team and staff in place, so enjoy every second of it.
Yeah, I wasn't dismissing the importance of the game or that Wyoming certainly needed to be taken seriously. I just have a lot of confidence in the seniors and Coach Fisher that they were going to be able to handle it this time, unlike some previous years. So I just thought Chris was a little overly worried about last night's game.
That's just Chris's personality. See, that's why you guys work so well together. That's what makes the ratings be so good. So
thanks,
okay.
Coach.
Hey, Coach, thanks. Good luck. We'll see you tonight for the senior night game against Wyoming, and we'll look forward to the ceremony to honor Paris Johnson and Jessica Bradley and Coco Davis. We appreciate the time as always, and I know our listeners love when you come on the show. Thank you, Coach.
All right, thanks, fellas. Have a great afternoon, Chris. We'll see you tonight.